This is Hard Parking, brought to you by Right Honda and Right Toyota out of Scottsdale, Arizona, coming to you live from Tempe Diablo Stadium at the Copperstate 1000. I am sitting in front of a row of show cars. There's probably 300 or 400 of them out here, ranging from all makes, models, builds. It's an amazing thing. Excited to be out here today, drinking some of this Shift coffee. The gentleman bought this for me earlier. You guys know Rob, Mr. Cars. Like, how you doing?
Doing pretty well. I've been out and about.
Have you gone to one of these before?
No, it's been on my list, and I was talking to some of the other photographer guys. I was like, how have I not been to this before? So I made it a point to get out here today, and hell yeah, it's so cool.
I have not been to, I thought I'd been to one. I've gone to one of the stops before. I have a friend.
Okay.
Who has a friend.
Who has a V8.
Yeah. It's
in
this,
front of your microphones.
It's this little Shelby Cobra, maybe Factory 5 build. Oh, I was going to record it. Go ahead. I'm going to record it anyway so you guys know who was disruptive. There's always someone.
I mean, hey, when you're setting up a booth right in front of a bunch of cars at a rally events.
But you know what's refreshing about this is all these cars basically got set up earlier.
That's true.
And so you don't have to deal with that. And it's fine. You're at a car event. It's something minor.
Parcel.
But a lot of times when I do these mobile setups, I'm right by the DJ booth.
Oh, you can't beat that one out.
There's just a bunch of stuff going on. And these microphones are pretty good at trying to help with that.
They're directional.
Yep, they are. But still,
when it's that loud, yeah.
It's just
the ambient volumes.
Basically that.
Even with a noise gate, you're cutting that out. But then at that point, you're cutting yourself out too.
Right. But yeah, I went to go see a friend and his friend, which by proxy is my friend because I'm cool with both of them.
Mutual friends.
Somewhere along the Copperstate route years ago. But that's as close as I've come. Bless you. That's as close as I've come to this event. Yeah. But yeah, did you go inside the bowl earlier? 5 minutes from
my house, so
Did you go inside the bowl?
Oh yeah,
earlier?
I did a lap.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so much cool stuff in there. A lot of vintage Ferraris, a lot of Aston Martin DB4s and Alphas, some other wild cars, some big old Cadillacs and stuff. I was like, damn.
Yeah, the wild thing is they're going 1,000 miles.
I saw that. I was like, that's awesome. I mean, Arizona's got some beautiful roads to be cruising on, so I'm jealous.
Oh, absolutely. But it's just some of those cars, like I said, we had Desi on earlier, but he'll actually come later in this video episode because I just did the opening. But yeah, that's amazing. And then, we have a mobile tire repair out here and
that's gonna be
Eurosport.
So there's a lot of support for the rally too.
Oh,
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was talking.
Or you're just like, hey, you're on your own. Good luck.
Right. No, I was talking to Tim, who has this RX-7 in front of us, and we were walking around inside, and you're saying that this, for rally goers, this is like the pinnacle around the States.
I mean, even going down in there, like the cars that are being driven, I'm like, these are some great choices to drive.
Yeah, and they have support vehicles with them too. But this is I called this the Gentleman's Gold Rush Rally.
I could see that. See that effect, yeah. It's a little more localized, but the concept is there. It's a more refined taste.
Absolutely. So when I say the Gentleman's...
I follow, yeah.
But viewers of this, listeners of this, that is absolutely not a knock on Gold Rush Rally.
No.
What have you seen out here? Have you got a chance to walk this?
Yeah, I've walked all of it. There was a Rover over there.
I haven't walk any of it.
Oh, yeah,
this morning when I was setting up, it was just me and Rebecca.
Yeah, it's
she
filled
was way
up.
over there.
Yeah, I did see them over there at the warehouse booth. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff here. I saw one of the ones that interested me was a Rover, where I was like, who imported a Rover? That's wild. But the craziest thing's actually that right there that I saw so far, that MG. That's all decked out with an EcoBoost and racing. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody deck out an MG modded out for sport racing.
Yeah, I need to try to go over there and get that.
Yeah, so there's some cool stuff out here too. 348 and the Testarossa rolled up over there just a minute ago. I'm a big fan of 80s, 90s era cars in general. So.
There's a 348 out here. I would totally take a 348.
355 is like my dream.
Well,
if I had money to just daily drive, like a daily drive. Yeah, dude, that V8 is so good. And the gated manual,
and then everyone dumps it before the major service.
Car, all about it, man. Yeah, this is actually my first time at the stadium in general.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. I'm not a sports ball guy, so normally there's not much reason for me
I've
to
been out
come
here, I think, for spring training, and there's like an army vehicles car show.
Like 5-ton trucks and stuff, or in support of?
No, like legit old
Okay.
army. And there's on the other parking lot.
Okay.
And then there's also the Christmas lights. You can always see it from the highway.
Oh, yeah.
The kind of drive-through parking lot thing,
Yeah, I
which
see
is
those
an
pop
interesting
up.
concept. Well, good deal, man. I think
For
I'm going to
sure.
get out there and kind of walk the lot after I get a little bit more of this content.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
get
you're going to
some of
talk.
the
You're going to
Eurosport
be
people
sitting
over
here talking about
and
cars you haven't seen, and it's going to be weird.
I know.
You're going to sound like a poser.
I am a poser. Anybody who knows me really knows that.
Actually, this is my first time I finally got to see Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think of this little
Dude,
thing?
I love it. There's a little escargot over there too, the little Snell van from
Oh,
Japan.
sure, yeah. I made
dig
the
it.
executive decision to keep it longer.
What do you got? Like a whole 96 horsepower in there at best.
I wish I had 96 horsepower.
76?
This little turbo is like 50. It's 60, like 64 horsepower.
Goodness. Yeah, I don't know why I went that high.
Yeah. It's fine on the regular road. I
Yeah,
drove it partial
yeah.
freeway on the way here this morning.
It's a little guy. It only weighs like 500 pounds. Not literally, but
It's like 1,300
figuratively.
pounds.
Yeah, that's so light.
But everything that you have around you was packed into that thing.
Hey, that's pretty impressive.
Exactly.
Is it like fold down rear seats or no rear seats?
Yeah, it's got rear seats, 4-seater, but you fold down the passenger seat. You can take a look when you get done here.
Okay.
And it actually turns into a bed. I've got these little books inside. The
Okay.
Japanese think of everything. But in folding it down, I could put the pop-up in there. I could put multiple tables, multiple chairs. I could actually put 2 pop-ups in there.
That's pretty cool.
That's what I did for the United Food Bank thing. But anyway,
See, now unlike the NSX, you can actually practical use it.
I know. It'd be
shows.
nice to bring the NSX and this car to an event, but it's just not feasible
Hey, I could
unless I
drive
have
one
another
for you if
driver.
you
Oh
need
yeah,
to.
you're volunteering?
Yeah,
Okay,
why
well,
not? Either one. Hell, I'd even drive that thing. That's still cool.
that's about your pace. Yeah.
They're both my face.
Yeah.
Cool cars are cool cars, man.
Cool cars are cool cars. Speaking of cars,
Go check them out.
good to see you.
For sure, man. Nice
Come
chat.
by the studio.
Oh, yeah, I haven't done that yet.
We got to go fishing.
We do need to go fishing.
Yep.
It's been like a year, dude.
It's been a while since we've gone fishing. Yeah.
All right, we'll plan that.
All right, let's do it.
All right, later.
Yep. All right, guys, we are out here at the Copperstate 1000 with Mr. Desi. Desi, welcome to Hard Parking.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So this is the 35th?
35th.
35th
35th
running.
annual. Yeah. Even made it through COVID.
You even made it. That's true.
It was a different year, but we made it.
How long have you been involved in all this? You're the
I've-
co-chair.
I'm the co-chair this year. Next year, I will be the chairman for the next 2 years. I actually joined the organization, the Men's Art Council, 2 years ago. So I'm only been pretty still fresh into it. Just been a car guy, connected with Scott, and he wanted to bring me up the reins to co-chair this year, and happy to do it. It's fun.
So is Scott maybe stepping down then if he's the chair right now, correct?
Yep, typically it's a chair is there for 2 years,
Okay.
and then the co-chair, whoever they selected, is typically in line to follow.
So how did you get involved with this? Because I researched and it says the Men's Art Council has been around since '67.
Yeah, so almost 60 years now is what it's close to, and I found out about it from a guy through work, a colleague who was in the organization. He said, "Oh, you like cars? Have you heard of Copperstate 1000?" I was like, "Yeah, definitely." He goes, "Oh, our organization puts it on." I was like, "No way." It's like there's a group that just puts it on, and I had no idea about the Men's Art Council. And then so he was my sponsor to get into the organization, and that was 2 years ago. And it's a good group of guys, all focused around the Phoenix Art Museum. All we do is fundraise for them. We have some monthly luncheons, have really cool
Wow.
local artists that come in. It's a good organization, fun group of guys.
Yeah, I saw that in the fall you put on kind of an off-road version too.
Correct. Yep. Another vintage off-road overland style. It's a smaller group, usually about 20 cars versus the 86 that we have out here on the field, but still kind of the same vintage vibe. Pre-1973, maybe a little bit more lax on the rules than we are with this, just because people are gonna put some bigger tires and different modifications to make their overland vehicle get over the land.
Yeah, I mean the highway, the back roads, they run a number on these because these are some very expensive vintage cars that people are running.
Very, yes. There's a couple $1 million plus cars out there. There's some cars out there that you can't. There's a 1928 Bentley out there. I don't want to drive that 1,000 miles, but these guys do it. It's awesome. These guys drive their cars.
That's pretty amazing because there's two types of cars, right? The kind you park and look at, and the kind you drive.
For most people, I think the cars that are on this field are the ones that most people would park and look at.
Right.
And these guys, they drive them. They drive them hard. A lot of them do 3-4 rallies a year. Some
That's
of them
crazy.
have multiple vehicles that they take on different rallies, but this is their lifestyle.
And so kind of walk us through really quick, kind of how this goes. Right now, they're in the stadium behind us.
Yep. So right now is kind of just the calm before the storm. Actually, this is kind of the storm already, but right now they're just getting their cars cleaned up. We'll start the their driver's meeting will be at 9:15, and they start departing at 10. From there, we head up to Flagstaff this year. Have cool lunch spots and dinner spots set up for them. Everything on this rally is catered to our participants. They don't have to spend anything if they don't want to, after the registration, of course.
Right, of course.
And then we're making our way into St. George or Ivins, Utah, and then back through Zion into Flagstaff, and then back down to here. So it's about 1,000 miles, hence Copperstate 1000. But that's kind of the outline of the day or the week.
And we've kind of talked about these aren't just any regular cars, but I mean, that's a lot of mileage because what's the cutoff?
1973 for the age of the vehicles.
Right.
Yeah, they have to be 73 or older.
So what are are you allowed to say some of the cooler cars or some of your favorite cars that you've seen? Because they're all cool in their own right.
I end up leaning heavy towards the Porsches. So I definitely like some of those RSs out there. They're awesome. One of the guys, Mike, has an old Studebaker.
Okay.
If you like a loud car, that's the one. It's a definite old race car. Him and his wife have to wear headgear and a microphone the entire time. So I mean, there's some cool stuff out there. There's a Safari Porsche out there. I gravitate towards those ones, so those would probably be my favorite.
And then you guys can't see this right now, but we're sitting in front of a car show that's taking place right in front of us as well. How many cars do you think are out here?
Right now, it looks like there's probably maybe a couple 150 cars. I think it's still growing. It's still early in the morning, so people are still coming out here. This is our West Lot car show that we have every year in adjacent to our launch in the field. Constantly trying to get it growing. We have obviously a large parking lot here that we can utilize, so it's something that we're focusing on to make a good event out of.
And quite the array of vehicles out here. Anything from old vintage American to JDM import, you name it, modern.
Ducatis.
Everything. Yeah, there's a couple Ducks in here.
Yeah.
Some Range Rovers, a lot of merchandise. So what are some things that people could pick up over here?
We got some coffee, food. Haggerty Car Club is here, as well as the warehouse. So a couple of good groups of people, organizations, if you're looking to join some enthusiast clubs. You got Lug Wrench Heroes over here, who, if you don't know already, Mobile Tire, can't beat that. Love when they come to your house.
That's clutch for days like today.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's ever growing with the vendors out here. A couple of cool artists up here on the mezzanine, has some digital art prints and some acrylic paint stuff. Really cool work.
Yeah, I think they're doing a thing with students.
And then yes, that was another thing that we added this year. I'll credit Scott on that one. We got connected with a few high schools and had 12 students come out and paint or draw, kind of whatever their choice of medium was, of 12 of the vehicles out on the field. So just a way to get the youth involved, something kind of cool, coming back full circle to the art aspect of what our organization is raising money for.
That is a special opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, that is amazing. Like, I went to art school. I was supposed to be an artist and all that kind of stuff, and man, this would have been like the icing on the cake for me, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's awesome you guys are doing that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, I know your time is valuable. You got a lot of stuff you got to do. We should do this again in more long form.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah,
I
me as
appreciate
well.
you having me out here.
All right, thanks, Desi.
Take it easy.
Yes.
Thanks, man.
So we're sitting here with Lug Wrench Heroes. Tell us about Lug Wrench Heroes.
Hey, brother. My name's Nate. I'm the owner and founder of Lug Wrench Heroes. We're the tire store at your door. And what that means is, instead of you going and sitting at the tire shop for 2 or 3 hours, we bring the tire shop to you, wherever you're at, whether that's at your home, office, things like that. But yeah, Lug Wrench Heroes opened in 2020 is when I founded it. At the time, I was living in Utah. And, you remember 2020, COVID, right?
I think I remember that a little bit, yeah.
So with COVID, people weren't leaving their houses, and they're getting all this stuff delivered, and they're working from home. And I was like, is mobile tires a thing? Are people getting tires delivered to their homes? And did a bunch of research, saw some people doing it. Nobody really doing it big in Phoenix, and I had some family in Phoenix. So we moved down here, and I started this company from scratch with one man, one van, no plan. Just trying to take care of customers, that one, love convenience, and two, just want a different approach to the normal tire shop experience of sitting 2 or 3 hours.
So if I call you today, first off, that's an awesome service. I haven't used you before, but I will.
Awesome.
And I'll tell other people that I know about you as well, because I didn't heard of you until now. So that's got to be part of the challenge.
Yep.
But talk me through the process, because I saw a number of things listed over there in bullet points. Like, what all do you guys do?
So we kind of have two separate divisions, right? So that's a great question. We have what we call our retail heroes, which is our consumer side, where on our consumer side, we sell and deliver new tires. We do tire repairs, we do balancing, and we use touchless tire equipment. So we have a lot of auto aficionados that, they don't want their wheels damaged. So we have touchless equipment to help protect their wheels, protect their investment. And on that side, we really focus on a lot of busy professionals, people that they know that their time is valuable, and they don't want to go sit somewhere for a few hours.
Right.
So that's kind of our retail side. It's pretty much just all tire related. We have an e-commerce site. They can order and make an appointment online, or they can call into our call center and make an appointment. And then we have a lot of people that just reach out to us on Instagram and Facebook from our following that order tires through there. We sell quite a few sets of tires a week just from social media. And so sometimes it's a little challenging taking care of all the leads coming in from all different places. But, we do our best, and we're constantly adding people to our team. And then the other division of Lug Wrench is our fleet hero side. And so we have a complete division that just focuses on business to business. And when I say that, think anybody with a fleet of vehicles.
Right.
And from that side, we offer not only tires, but we offer our monthly hero maintenance plan. So we'll check their tread for them monthly, do air checks for them monthly, and then we also help them make sure they stay on top of their oil changes, brakes, and batteries. So we do light maintenance on that side, and because 90% of small business owners' headaches with their fleet vehicles are either tires, brakes, or battery related. So we offer those services, mobily, and then the oil changes too, so we can kind of help keep their fleet in top shape, and they don't have to waste downtime sitting at the shop. And so those are our two different divisions that we have and how we serve our customers.
Yeah, I know someone that runs a churro business.
Okay.
And I think that it sounds like you could save them a lot of time.
Oh yeah,
they're pretty frugal. It's my son.
Oh, okay.
He's super fucking frugal. But I think I just found a solution for him.
Oh, nice. How many vehicles does he have on there?
I think right now he has 7 or 8.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think
Where's
he's maxed at 12. He's here.
Okay.
Yeah, he's here in the valley.
Awesome.
Where are you guys? I mean, you're mobile, but where do you call Central?
So headquarters for us, Central World Lug Wrench Heroes headquarters is in Tempe, off of Baseline and Mill. Pretty exciting. We're getting ready to open a second branch, North Valley, because it's just growing so much out on the 303. So we're opening a new spot on Pinnacle and 7th. We haven't even released that yet. It's going to be opening within the next month. We just got an offer in on a building up there.
Congratulations.
So we're going to have a second branch location, and we'll have 2 hubs to deliver north and south out of.
What's been your biggest challenge other than chasing leads?
Our biggest challenge has been, like you brought up, like we spend a lot of money in marketing. Still, people don't know who we are.
Right.
We go to a lot of events and people still don't know who we are. And then the other challenging thing is like everyone loves our concept, but getting them to break their habit of going and sitting at the tire shop for hours on a Saturday, like it's been a little bit challenging to get them to switch their buying habits.
That's weird, right? Like,
Yeah.
to me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, anytime we have a flat tire or something happens, I'm just like, okay, you got to make an appointment.
Yeah.
You could drop it off, but you still have to leave your house to do it. Mm-hmm. If you're not sitting there or walking around at the nearest strip mall, you're Ubering home.
And that's a great point. And then the customers that talk with us, they're like, yeah, but it's free. I'm like, you wasted 4 hours in your whole Saturday. It was not free. Your whole Saturday's gone. Like, what's your time worth? Like, wouldn't you rather, be golfing or hanging out with your kids or doing something, instead of sitting
No, that's a fact.
And so we've been working through that. And some ways that we've worked through that is we've implemented a direct sales team that all they do is go build brand awareness. That's the team that's here today. And then we just hired an in-house marketing person, and we're on the commercial side. We're experiencing rapid growth on the commercial side. Our fleet business has just been blowing up, and so we'd like to bring the retail level up to match that. But like at any given month, we're adding about 140 new retail clients a month. So we're still having healthy growth, but we would like to build upon that. And so, that's been our toughest challenge, is just awareness and then just trying to get them to switch their habits. But, we are starting to get a lot of momentum. So, and all the time we're seeing other people starting to offer the mobile solutions. So it makes people more aware too. Because when they look for a mobile tire shop, there's nobody that has more reviews than us when they go to look for one. So it's nice to have other shops in there, and then they compare them to us, and they're like,
right.
Let's go with these guys. Look at all the reviews they have.
Well, good deal, Nate. Thanks for coming by the booth and telling us about, your shop, Lug Wrench Heroes, and good job, man. I mean, I'm excited. I'm gonna tell everybody I know, and that's not just lip service. I'm serious.
No, appreciate that very much. Yeah, don't forget, don't wait, call Nate. We're the tire store at your door. You guys can follow me on social, Nate the Tire Guy. And then you can find me on all other social platforms under Lug Wrench Heroes.
Every single one?
All of them.
You guys do like TikToks and stuff like that?
Yeah, we've got TikTok, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Facebook, Instagram. Those are our big ones that we're active on. And then I'm really active on my personal account, Nate the Tire Guy, on Instagram.
Good deal. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Okay, at this point, a lot of the vehicles have already started to roll out. All 86, they're probably going to be doing it for the next hour and a half, maybe an hour. They're spaced out probably 30, 40 seconds between. A couple things about this event. As far as your vehicles, it says, please note from the website, no clones, reproductions, tributes, recreations are not eligible for participation in the Copperstate 1000. So all these vehicles are exactly 100% original and legit. I did get an opportunity to walk around. There's definitely some really cool cars out there. Checked out the car that Robert was talking about earlier. It's always funny because he goes by cars, and we're looking at cars. So when you're talking about cars with cars, it doesn't really work out verbally. Special shout out to the Warehouse AZ, Rebecca's place. It's right across the way over there on the other side of the parking lot. Went over there and got some water, got some muffins, went over to the Lug Wrench place. This is pretty cool. They got Lug Wrench Heroes hot sauce. I don't know if you can see that, Lug Wrench Heroes hot sauce. I gotta say that this is an amazing event. I can't believe I've never gone to this just as a spectator, but hopefully moving forward, we'll have more opportunities to record at this event and other events, because this is great. You get an opportunity to meet people that you normally wouldn't normally come across, catch up with some friends, talk some shop. And at the end of the day, it's all about cars, the things that unite us, and there's just so many different vehicles out here. I could sit here all day and just stare at these vehicles without saying anything on camera. It's a beautiful Sunday, too. The weather couldn't be better. Slight breeze when you need it the most. In the shade, of course. Nick Kingsley, future in-studio guest, but you never know who you're going to run into in these type of events. Welcome officially to your first hard parking.
Thanks.
Yeah, all these cars are kind of rolling out right now.
Dude, I was a bit surprised. I was walking around like big Lamborghini guy, right? Seeing that black LM over there, I was like, oh. Did you see that?
Oh, right over by the truck?
Yeah,
by
black
the trailers.
LM 002, green interior, car is immaculate.
No kidding.
He's like, I was talking to, do you know Mike from IDR? Ital Design and Racing? They have the diesel swap
so.
LM002.
We don't run in the exact same circles.
Gotcha.
Because you do all the work on all these high-end vehicles.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Nick runs in circles with people with Paganis and Bugattis and all sorts of stuff.
Hey, then I'm also working on like Civics mostly, and that's the running gag with friends. It's like, hey man, I just work here. Later at night, I'm like doing a Wyra.
Yeah. But no, I didn't see that one over there. But anyway, this Mike with what you said, IDR?
Yeah, Ital Design and Racing. So he does so like over at the warehouse booth on the other side, they got like there's like that Renault and those kind of like odd funky cars.
Right, yep.
Mike does a lot of work on those, and you've probably seen it around. He has an orange LM002 that he diesel swapped.
Okay.
And so I was talking to Mike about it, and he's like, yeah, we walk over, and he's like, this thing's like really nice. I guess the guy who bought it had a bunch of shit chromed on it, and interior's like flawless. just PPF on it. The whole thing was repainted. It's got Brembo brakes on it, custom chrome wheels. Like, it is immaculate.
Nice.
And it's, as a Lamborghini guy, I've seen a lot of those just out of the Leaf factory. It's like, ugh,
It's probably going to be at Fountain Hills.
Maybe.
They'll take anything as long as you register. This is all donation. I don't think they'll refuse anything. Have you gone to this event before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been to it like twice. It's not really much, I'm not a... Again, like, I'm kind of an odd... Like, I like all cars, but...
Right.
A lot of that stuff in there is not really my cup of tea. I'm like, oh, cool, I like GT40s, Miras, Not a big Ferrari guy, but, 275, stuff like that. Like,
why don't you like Ferraris?
Ah, man. So, grandfather was a cool guy, and he meant a lot to me growing up. So he was a pilot in World War II, test pilot after, so he flew like SR-71s, and he was like a fighter ace and flew night fighters, and, and he was always big into cars, too, so he was always like hot rodding, so he's got stories from like Area 51 in the 50s when they were like bored, they like hot rod cars, and eventually, it's like, I had pictures of him like smoking cigars with Ferruccio Lamborghini. He was at the Ford team with Shelby in the 60s. So it's like, there's a reason he doesn't like Ferrari, and that was about it. Remember I told him I liked the way a 288 GTO looked as a kid, and he smacked me. So, but personally, it's like...
So you don't dislike them?
Oh, well,
it's
now
your thing.
After working on them, I highly dislike them.
Okay.
They're just like the most clapped together, like steel, shitty welds. They spray paint everything black underneath. Like, it's just...
I would assume it would be the opposite. I would assume, and you get to work on these cars.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. I would assume that Lamborghini would be more guilty of that.
No, dude. That's the thing is everyone's always like, Countaches are garbage, Diablos are garbage, and I'm just like, dude, they're actually built really well. Like, and just to be clear, like, none of these older cars are built good.
Right.
Fair.
Yep.
Don't say the 911, because the 911 was a mass-produced car. Like, we're talking cars where there's only a couple thousand units made, if you're lucky.
True old school exotics.
Like, cool, we're just going to, like, shove this screw in this door panel here. It's going to go into a piece of metal, and there's no torque spec. Like, we'll see if it stays, or if when he opens the door the third time, the screw falls out. Like, that's how they are.
Right.
And it's... My biggest don't ever meet your heroes moments in cars was Ferraris and McLarens.
Oh, yeah, we know about McLarens.
Yeah.
I would still like a couple of them.
Oh, like me too. Like a 7... So...
I'm a huge 720 fan.
Oh, dude, I love, So, I used to work at a place called TurboCraft. It's air-cooled Porsche. They do turbo motors. Great. They're world-renowned for it, too. It's... Like RWB, Nakai says, like, these are the RWB engine builders, like, go to Chris, And I was very lucky to be able to get in, and I learned a lot about work ethic and stuff like that, where it's like, if you're going to do something, do it right. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. And then, one quote, he told me that I will always remember, no car will ever be cooler than what came out when you were in high school. So it's like, all right, for me, it's like Lamborghini Centenario. There's one specific RWB that was at SEMA when I was in high school that I got obsessed with, that started my career, the path I went down. 720S, new 4 GTs, new NSX. There's a bunch of other stuff I like, but I'm not like, I could honestly care less about a Chiron, even though I drive them and I get to work on a couple, Koenigseggs are cool, but...
It's a cool looking car.
What is that?
Oh, that thing? That's an MG that's got something else in it.
Yeah, it looked like it was hot rodded a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Chirons are cool. Like, and that's, there's always like Koenigsegg or Bugatti or this, right? Like, the Pagani's and Koenigsegg's are always riddled with issues. Like, I have a video on my phone of a Wyra Coupe's door failing, like, at a track. The guy opens the door and it, like, where, like, the latches go, or not the latches, the hinges go, it just, like, snaps off the door and you're just like, what? And it's great pieces of art, but at the end of the day, it's like, with Bugatti and Volkswagen Auto Group, they're dumping hundreds of millions of dollars into these things, developing it. It is perfect.
Right.
It's been tested, it's been through and through, and like Koenigsegg's are great, they perform amazing, but there's just little quality control issues. Like, I've driven 3 Regeras now, and each one of them, like, the sensors in the doors don't work, or they're plagued with gearbox issues that I've never experienced, but I always hear about it. Just little stuff here and there, but it's like, I also own an RX-7. Everyone's like, rotary, dude. Like, trust me, I'm feeling it, right?
Right.
So it's each car has its little plagues and issues. It's just, do you want to put up with it? Do you want to pay for it?
I think these cars in front of us are getting ready to start their engines and pull off, so that's a good time for us to say that this is Nick's first time on the podcast, but he will be back very soon in long form, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it's going to be
a lot
fun
of fun
time.
stuff. Before we get to our last guest of the day, just wanted to make sure I thank my Patreon business supporters, Shade Bros out of Boise, Idaho, Automotive Specialty Tool out of Owings Mills, Maryland, Kuya Automotive out of Winter Garden, Florida, Pell Construction out of Caledonia, Michigan, Beak House Small Home Design out of Ashburn, Virginia, and Traverse City, Michigan. We are waiting on Tim Yule to head over here. He's looking at a couple of RX-7s. He's a big RX-7 guy, and he is the reason, primarily, why I'm sitting here today. Tim Yule.
Yeah. Hi, Jay.
I said earlier when you weren't standing here or sitting here that, this podcast probably doesn't happen today without you reaching out and offering to talk to Eric and get me here. So,
Yeah.
Excellent opportunity.
Yeah.
I thank you for it.
You're welcome.
And I thank
Absolutely.
you for the long, slow, romantic walk around the inside of the stadium, too.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. There's just so many cool cars that you rarely, if ever, see being driven,
Right.
other than in a museum. So, Copperstate is a great place, a great way to get up and close with the owners and enthusiasts like that guy just revving.
It's funny because I looked at that little green van truck thingy.
Right.
Like, is it that? Oh, no, it's the Camaro.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Do you know Jason?
I don't know. Hi,
This
Jason.
guy shows up everywhere,
Yeah?
and it's good. It's only the good places.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do or do not, there is no try. You want to photobomb this? So you'll appreciate this, okay?
Yeah, come on in.
You're going to appreciate this story, because there's always something,
Yeah.
right? There's a thumb screw that goes in here
Yeah.
You
that
lost
I
it?
don't fucking have, because I was packing at 1 a.m.
Yeah, I need to double check all your equipment, man. Cause this
Dude,
is the second time, dude.
I did 10 checks before I go, okay, I got this, got that, got this, got that. I even brought my little thumb screw container thing, and none of them fit this.
Yeah.
So now I'm holding this like this. But at least
Yeah.
it looks proper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff that drives me insane. Like, why is this just not like a standard? thumb
Exactly.
screw? I mean, like all of them are the same. you
Right.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right.
Any
Right.
photo equipment, there's usually one of 3 sizes,
Yeah.
and it's not any of them.
Yeah.
Because I
why-
have a
or
bunch
why-
of them. I kept
I mean,
trying
why
them.
can't they, when they send it, supply you with 2 or 3 extras?
Future guest standing behind us.
Yeah. Awesome.
But no, without you, this probably wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened because
Yeah.
you reached out about
Oh,
it.
are we live on camera?
Well, we're on camera. That's fine. I'm not cutting it out either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not cutting it out either. But I mean,
Hey,
so-
more people know him than know me, right? So it's like,
But to learn about those cars, like I
Yeah.
appreciate all the vehicles. I think most of us here do, but I don't know, that this is a 1964 Alfa Romeo DB4. I think is what
Right.
that was, right?
right.
I just know I like the car,
Yeah.
and so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But the funny, you've never been on Hard Parking. You have been on One Drink Wednesday.
I did randomly call in to One Drink Wednesday because I subscribed to One Drink Wednesday, and every time you start it on Wednesday, it comes up on my phone and it says, Jay has started a One
Live
Drink
feed
Wednesday
or something, yeah.
live stream, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll watch it. And I didn't know that if I clicked on the link, it
Oh.
pulled me into the event or into the podcast.
So you asked, so you hit the thing, and it's like, hey, Tim wants to come on. And I'm like, oh, okay, you want to be part of this? Welcome. You're like, huh?
But it was cool. The podcast that I did join happened to be your friend over in California who owns the super low mileage white 10th anniversary RX-7. John.
Yeah, Sean Lee.
So yeah, and Sean, since then I saw Sean over at Fuel Fest and met Cody through Sean, and so it was a pretty cool deal. Pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, they asked me to be in the McGuire's booth at that show, and so
Good deal.
great event.
But you brought an RX-7 Gen 1 here today.
I did.
Tell the viewers or listeners the quick story on that.
The car belongs to a friend of mine who passed away a couple of years ago. He had just moved here from Alaska about 2 years earlier. We quickly became really, really good friends because I have a first-gen 79 blue, and he has this red 80. So he wasn't here more than like a year and a half, and had a little tinge in his throat, and went to the doctor and got diagnosed with throat cancer, and they thought it was curable, and unfortunately, it ended very terribly for him a couple years ago. But he had this red 1980 RX-7, and he had a red Ducati, a 1981 Ducati Panta, and so we've helped get the Panta running, and we rebuilt the engine on this RX-7, and we're about to list it on Bring a Trailer, probably coming up here within a month and a half, and it's all in an effort to just help his wife.
Sure.
Stu was one of those guys who was an avid contributor on the RX-7 Club Forum in the first gen section. And anytime anybody had a question about 79, 80 RX-7s, Stu always chimed in, and he had friends all over the country that knew him from his car. And
Well, good deal, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome that
Yeah.
you're willing to do that, and you brought it out here to show people, and maybe get it sold here beforehand, but you know, if not, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
On Bring a Trailer, or somewhere of the like.
Yeah.
And then you of course have tell us about your multiple award-winning RX-7.
I do have,
because you're not stepping out one of these Copperstate 1000 cars. You have something that a lot of people would like those too, but
yeah. So I'm kind of a Rotary guy in town, right? I'm kind of the de facto leader of the Rotary community in the Phoenix area. So fast forwarding to 2000, and actually probably in the late 90s, I started looking because I worked at Honeywell, and there was a gentleman named Dolph Strom, and Dolph bought a brand new yellow FD RX-7, and I lusted after that car for a long time in the parking lot. Finally, we got to 2000, and the kids were growing up, and my wife said, I think it's time for you to start looking for your RX-7. And so my criteria on the car was that it had to be under 40,000 miles, and it had to be yellow. At that time, cars under 40,000 miles at 2000 for a third-gen RX-7, the truth was they were 25 to 30 used if they were under 40,000 miles. And I found this one on eBay in Honolulu, Hawaii.
When was this?
This was 2000, March of 2000. Okay. And so you could go...
So the cars are still relatively newish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't hit that...
Right. Yeah, I was 7 years old at the time. I bought the car in March for, at that time, $16,500.
So now you've had this thing for 25 years.
Right.
You said March, right?
I bought it in March.
So literally 25 years.
Yeah, you're, exactly. Yeah. So it was bone stock when I bought it. And then the following summer, I heard about this event over in Los Angeles called Seven Stock.
Oh, yeah.
And so I decided to drive across the desert end of June when it was 120 degrees through Palm Springs.
Have you missed Seven Stock since? Because every year that I've talked to you,
I've been to Seven
Stock
every year since Seven Stock 4.
And that's the event for all RX-7s.
Right.
Seven Stock.
All rotary-powered vehicles.
Okay.
So
I mean, what
rotary-powered pickups, RX-2s, R100s, RX-3s, 4s, anything rotary-powered, right?
I think for most of us, we think rotary is just the RX-7, but obviously it's more.
Yeah, it's so many things.
In the 25 years that you've had this vehicle, and you've kept it mostly stock, when did you decide to start modifying it? And then, how many awards do you think you've won with that car?
So I started modifying it shortly after I bought it, just because there were a lot of horror stories at the time about the reliability of rotary engines. So I just went with the reliability mods first. 2007 to 2008.
That's when you started really
the car needed a new motor at the time. And so when the motor was out, I worked for Honeywell, who owned Garrett. And so I could buy any Garrett parts at cost, and so I bought a turbo that was to the power range that I was trying to hit. So yeah, I mean, I bought a vented hood, I bought all kinds. I wanted to keep the car somewhat stockish in appearance, but I wanted the benefits of heat relief.
Kind of visually an OEM Plus look.
Yeah, right. So I bought a vented hood, and then my son was really into JDM cars at the time, and so he turned me on to all the goodies from Japan, like bride seats and just
all the car show eye candy.
Yeah, all the car show eye candy.
Right.
Probably 2009, 2010, I'd started taking it to quite a few shows.
So for 15 years now.
Won a lot of awards over the years. I mean, I think probably the best year for me was I went in 2019 to Seven Stock. Seven Stock voted my car best in, not just best FD, but best in all the event.
Wow. How many cars are there?
About 400 cars. And then I come home, and in January, the last year that Future Collector Car Show was up at High Street.
High Street, yeah.
I win Best of Show there.
You just been kind of riding the wave then?
Yeah, the car
You're like a heavyweight champion now that just does this touring and then,
I try to be a humble owner.
And you are.
And thanks, Jhae.
Yep.
I mean, I try to be, but for me anymore, it's not about winning awards. It's about spreading the hobby, about helping young kids get into rotary cars that have questions, that will listen to me anyway.
Right.
And so it's really been a great experience. Motor.
That's good, but we got to probably get out of here.
Yep.
We should have you on the podcast in a more long form.
Yeah, I'd like that.
You can come over and we can serve you whatever it is you want to drink.
Sounds good.
And then we'll do that. But, Tim, again, thank you for, you're the reason why we're here today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
You're also part of the One Auto Council.
Yeah, thanks, Jhae.
And, we try to make difference in everything we do. And couldn't do any of this stuff without you, any of it. So.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right.
You bet.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. And that is it for this portion of the podcast. And I'm going to cue the pre-canned closing. Hey, guys, I want to thank you for stopping by the podcast. If you like what you saw today, go ahead and hit that like button, hit subscribe, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. If you're streaming the audio, please consider subscribing and leaving a positive review. Believe it or not, that does help the algorithm tremendously. And if you're in a position to help the podcast upgrade, please consider joining the Patreon, patreon.com, Hard Parking Podcast. For as little as $3 a month, you can get access to bonus audio as well as Patreon exclusive swag and free show swag. Also, special thanks to the main show sponsors, Right Honda, Right Toyota, Toyota of Huntington Beach, Claremont Toyota, and Gardenia Honda, Arcus Foundry, Autocannon, officially licensed Honda and Acura gear. Your support makes all the difference in this show. And if this is your first time checking this out, and if you truly enjoy this show, share it with the world, and I will talk to you all next week.
Now it's stripping time.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Shut up!